I'd been living in a small village in West Africa for about 2 years when I found myself slumped on a log in front of a hut that sells dolo, the locally made alcohol. I was going through one of those periods where I was questioning the relevance of the work I was doing for the village. There was a woman approaching. She was the mother of one of my favorite students, Claire. Back a while, I was concerned about her absences from my classes, which seemed to me odd because she had told me she really enjoys them. I found out that she missed school because her family just didn't have enough money for food, and she got sick often because she was malnourished. Claire's mom walked over to the dolo server, pulled back the waist of her skirt where women stashed the money, and handed the server enough money for a drink of dolo, which disturbed me given their financial situation. But the mishandling of money by Africans was something I was overexposed to and saw every day. So the fact that this woman is buying an alcoholic drink while her children are literally starving was just another day. The server came back, and as she put the drink in her hands and poured, I could only grimace. I struggled quite a bit, learning their ways of doing things, learning their languages. Understanding who does the work. And who reaps the benefits.
This is what it is to be call and joy and youth. Don't dare call it fate. He won't come, he won't call.
My job was great, but it was a teaching job, so it was difficult to measure the results. Was I getting through to the children? I was there to encourage the girls to stay in school so they can break the pattern of mistreatment and abuse. I try to teach the girls they have options, become educated, and think for themselves. I try to teach the boys to understand the oppression of women. I would often ask myself, are they even learning what I'm teaching them? Is anything gonna change? But I found ways to be happy, spending time with the children, doing my job, good conversations with the people in village. And sometimes I'd think, I'm really getting the hang of things, I'm really integrating, I'm becoming one of them. I started speaking the local language, eating what they eat, and spending most of my free time in their social circles chatting. But then something would happen, like I would see a woman's face beaten and bruised up from her husband. And worse is the fact that when I'd talk with the men that evening, they would joke about it. And of course the women would never dare speak about it. They have to act as though nothing happened and just continue working. This is the kind of thing I was there to try to stop. And its casual appearances in my everyday life made it feel like I was fighting a losing battle and I was the only one on my side. I wasn't even sure if the women were with me. It's easy to turn a blind eye and pretend you don't know what's happening, and just take in all the great things that make up African culture. But this glaring problem wasn't something I could easily overlook. I think every humanitarian worker likes to know at some level that their work is appreciated. But working on a project where it was difficult, nearly impossible, to find genuine positive feedback from the very people you were trying to help made me crave this validation even more. It's what drove me to constantly question my significance there. And 2 years into it, I was coming to realize that these questions would have to go unanswered, and I'll just have to keep doing what I think is right.
My son is so late.
When the Dolo server gave Claire's mother the one drink she could afford, she looked around to make sure there weren't any men from village watching, and turned back to me and said, "I want to thank you for what you teach to Claire." And then she gave the drink to me, stood up, and went back to work.
This is what it is to be calling joy and youth. Don't dare call it fate. He won't come, he won't